Welcome into Gamesthetic episode 205. I'm Alex Light with Sparky3. Hope you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you are listening or watching the show. We appreciate the hell out of you. I do got both the boys here with me. Zach, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, and I can't complain.
Good, good. You know, how's Pokemon TCG treating you?
It's fine.
You know, now that you're able to, make some other decks a little bit more powerful. A lot of good stuff happening. And in terms of Pokemon TCG, we have this son of a bitch with a God Pack. What the heck, John?
I mean, it happens every now and then.
Yeah.
No, it's one of those things where it's like, I guess you know it's possible.
Yeah.
Like with it happening. Never seen it before, so it was just shocking.
Yeah. Yeah. So these two have both gotten a God Pack at some point in Pokemon TCG's history, and I have not. So I'm going to keep on the grind on that and hopefully get that.
Yeah, because I think my God Packs, I got both the immersive Pikachu and Mewtwo in the same pack. No, that's not possible.
I was about to say that would be ungodly,
No.
right? That's the peakest of peaks.
I got an immersive Mewtwo with an EX Mewtwo full art in the same.
Actually, you know what? You know what? I think I remember you sending me that.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing that. And I was just like, how did you get both Mewtwo's in the same pack?
Yeah.
Like, what? This is bullshit. And I'm still just trying to get the Lucario full art right now, man. Man, come on. No, today's episode, though, we do have that state of play that took place this week with some pretty fun announcements that we're going to talk about. And then just kind of ramble from there. A bunch of stuff in the weekly wrap-up going on to chat about. Avowed came out in terms of its early access. The official full release comes out on Tuesday, so we're going to talk a little bit about the reviews and stuff. And plus just a couple other things here or there. If you could check out the Patreon, we'd appreciate that. Patreon.com/Sparky3. Shout out to our Tier 2 patron, Hannah. We appreciate you. As well as check out some Agent Ink and Rogue Energy with the referral links down below, as well as Sparky3shop.com. That's also down below. And join the Discord. Let's go to 3 cams and let's turn down the music. Boys, what have we been up to this week? What have we been doing? What's going on?
I've been playing a lot of RuneScape.
I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, so I feel
And although I have, buddy of mine been trying to talk me or like talk somebody into doing it, like playing it with him for a while. I bought the game during one of the Steam sales a while back. It started a co-op playthrough of Remnant 2.
Oh,
Hey!
nice.
Fuck, I wish I knew. I would have joined. I fucking love Remnant.
And so yeah, it's like been like started playing through that maybe like 10 hours or so in. A lot of fun.
Oh, did you ever play the first one?
Started the first one, never finished it.
Okay. The Remnant series is very fun. I was honestly surprised when we got the second game, but I was all excited for it.
the second game did really well, too. Pretty
Yep.
sure.
Yeah, honestly, enjoying the second game more than I did the first one.
Yeah, they definitely revamped several systems and made it a lot more, not necessarily ease of access, but more easily manageable.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I'd forgotten a lot of like things about it, but my buddy's been kind of telling me about it as we've been playing, because it's not like procedurally generated necessarily. It's more like they created a bunch of templates, like puzzle pieces, and when you enter into an area for the first time, it just grabs some of the puzzle pieces for that zone and slaps them together. So like, even though he's got 80 hours in the game, we're doing some stuff in my playthrough that he hasn't seen.
Oh, that's cool.
And then it's all new to me. But
Yeah.
I will say a lot of the puzzles are more fun than I expected them to be,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun.
It's always a W when you have a game like that can like make your playthrough or make you like whenever you jump back into the game like a different experience. That's always a massive W. So.
Yeah, there are some weird things where like since he's played through some of the areas before, we'll like get to a puzzle and it'll auto complete because on his profile he would have done it before. So for every one of those we're getting a new puzzle that he hasn't seen before, which kind of evens it out.
Huh. Oh, that's good for both of you then.
Yeah.
No, that's actually pretty sick. That's actually pretty sick.
So it's been a lot of fun so far,
Right.
and looking forward to playing more of it.
Yeah. Like I said, all I've been playing is Marvel Rivals, an almost unhealthy amount, if I'm going to be honest with you. Most have been playing competitive, did get to platinum so far, so happy about that. Going to keep trying to make the climb right now. I like that it gave me like a little pop up whenever I got to platinum. It's just like, you are now higher than 78.26% of players, on this server or whatever. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. It doesn't really matter, but thanks. Makes me feel a little special.
You finally reached the 1/3.
Yeah, no, how about that?
Hey, good news though. Here in about 2 weeks, you can swap your shooter that you're playing.
Frag Punk.
Because we got Frag
Punk.
Punk.
Yeah, that's coming out.
Frag Punk.
One of the few like team-based shooters that I'm excited for.
Frag Punk looks like a lot of fun.
Does that game supposed to have crossplay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. I'm not positive.
Because I would have to join all that with on console because my PC is currently starting to chug, so I wouldn't be able to run on PC.
Oh, I'm going to be on console anyway, so it better be crossplay. It better be crossplay. No, yeah, checking out Frag Punk. See, the downside is the day it comes out is the day Split Fiction comes out, and I want to jump into that. But I will be checking out Frag Punk that weekend before we do this podcast. So maybe like Saturday morning or something, maybe hit up some Frag Punk. I don't know. Just depends on how the day goes. If not going to be able to hop into Split Fiction that day, I may go ahead and hop into Frag Punk that evening. But excited for that. I will say playing Marvel Rivals to the unhealthy amount I have in like the past week. Like, I've been playing it since it launched. Really fun. It's like my multiplayer game that's like, this is what I'm going to do if I want to play a multiplayer game. But it's like playing it, it's given me like that same feeling of when the original Overwatch came out, where it was just fun. You know what I mean? It's just fun. Because that's what it was like when Overwatch came out. It was a different gaming experience, man. It was just a fun game. And that's how Marvel Rivals is for me right now.
Then Blizzard killed it.
Huh.
Yeah, Blizzard annihilated it. Now they're trying to backtrack where it's just like, we're going back to 66. Oh, loot boxes are back. It's a whole thing right now.
That's right. They did take loot boxes
I
out.
was gonna say it's fun hearing you say like it reminds you back of that time.
Yeah.
I never had that experience with those games.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
I've tried them. I never get that experience, or I've yet to get that with any sort of hero shooter.
Right. All right. No, I've said it multiple times. I love Overwatch. I just hate what they did with it. I hate what Overwatch 2 became, and I hate that Overwatch 2 is even a thing. But no, Marvel Rivals, a lot of fun. Excited for Human Torch and The Thing. They are set to come out on the 21st, so is that next Friday. So we'll be checking out both of them next week. But anyway, let's jump into the state of play, boys. Overall, pretty good state of play. Not gonna lie. So I did a rewatch this morning as I was kind of like just getting stuff for the show, whatever. Mm-hmm. I liked it better on the second rewatch. The second rewatch, I found a couple more titles that kind of jumped out at me that didn't necessarily jump out at me the first time. Because we said in I said in our group chat, whatever, kind of lost me in the second half. But watching it again this morning, all right, you kind of brought me back in the second half. There's some pretty cool titles here or there. But I thought it was overall pretty solid. At least I feel like for me, pretty solid state of play. I know for John, it's already an automatic winner.
Well, it was
for one game.
It's one where like I've watched it twice now, mainly just because like I like half watched it because I was listening to it and like every now and then peeking at it at work. But then when I got home, like there's like people on YouTube that like I'll like open up and watch their reaction to it, and so like I'll see it again and just kind of listen to them talk about some of the games that I'm less familiar with. Mm-hmm. It's one where there's a few exciting things in there for me. One big one. Overall, it's all right.
Yeah.
Like overall for me, it's all right.
For you, yeah. No, like I say it was pretty good for me. There was a lot of titles that, it's just like, okay, that looks cool. You're on my radar. There's a couple of titles where it's just like, oh, you're a lock. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yes, 100%. But there was definitely some titles in there for me. It's like, oh, this is pretty cool. The concept sounds cool. It looks cool. Let's jump into it. It did kick off with Monster Hunter Wilds. Got to keep pushing that as we approach the release here very, very soon. Shout out to that.
If you haven't touched it, the open beta is still up. So.
Yep.
Yeah, which I might actually re-download and hop back into just to try out a couple weapons that I hadn't done before.
Hunting horn?
No, I want to jump back in.
Hunting horn.
I haven't tried like my weapon yet. I was trying some of the weapons I've played.
You're a sword and shield player, right?
Well, I became a sword and shield player when I went back to World. I'm a Gunlance player, and I've heard very good things about Gunlance in this. So I might have to re-download it and give it a try.
I'm a high flyer. I'm a glaive insect.
Nice. I'm nothing. We'll see if I become something with this game.
Yeah, when I played the beta previously, I pretty much exclusively played with Sword and Shield because it was what I was most familiar with at the time. But most of my time playing Monster Hunter has been Gunlance.
Nice.
Yeah, my kit, if I actually decide to go on the wilds, will be Glaive Insect Dual Blades. That's when I usually run one of those two.
Nice.
Which
Dual Blades is one that I may try out.
I was gonna say, from what I've heard, Dual Blades got a pretty good amount of love.
That's what I heard because one of the streamers I watched, when they were messing with the beta, they like Dual Blades, and more or less what they said is that it's much more of a sort of dodging and staying close to the monster versus what it was in Worlds of sort of just you found a hill or something to do your big attack and then just fucked off.
Yeah, it was kind of like you would do your big attack, or you would do like your I don't remember what it's called, but it was essentially you just jump up sideways and spin down the back of the monster, doing a lot of damage.
And then run. Yeah.
And then you find another
run.
You find another hill and something and do it again.
But yeah, it's like if you didn't have that option to it, you basically had one looping combo that you did the entire time.
Yeah. And from what they said, it felt a lot better. I mean, depending on, because I haven't watched a whole lot, and a lot of the people I've seen who played the beta, it was mostly just a background noise for me. I feel like my Glaive Insect Twin Blade would be very interesting if you can switch midair with the Glaive Insect, because then I could just infinite fucking dual swords plunge like an asshole.
That's right. I forgot it had like this game because wasn't it like again non-Monster Hunter player here asking questions? Treat me like I'm 5. Didn't they announce like 4 wilds you could have 2 main weapons at the same time and switch between them with ease or something like that?
I don't know how the switching works.
Neither do I.
I think I remember in the beta that you could pick a secondary weapon. I don't know how any of that works.
Yeah.
I would have to jump back into it and
Okay.
try
Well,
to
either way,
figure out how it
that sounds
works.
like a cool addition to have. From
But yeah, that was one of the big points. Just
Yeah.
You don't have to go back to the
Back and
main
forth,
hub
whatever.
or campsite to change your weapon.
Nice.
You can carry one other main weapon with you, and you can switch on the fly in the field.
nice. More education for me. Next up, we did have a trailer for Shinobi Art of Vengeance, which is set to come out August 29th. It was announced like last year that this IP was coming back. Now we got the full hey, this is when it's dropping. This is the first new game since 2011 on the 3DS, and this is led by the Streets of Rage 4 developers. Next was one of my highlights of the show, and I was actually kind of shocked to say that, even though I am a Sonic fan. Sonic Racing Crossworlds looks fun. Like, it just looks like a fun game. Like, I will say though, it is just Mario Kart 8 with Sonic. That's all it is. But it looks fun.
Hey, I'm happy that you're excited for it.
It looks fun.
The second time I watched this through, this was a fast forward.
Oh, come on.
section.
Come on. No, all right, full transparency. When this was announced at the Game Awards, I did laugh about it because, Jeff said, here comes an announcement for a, historic IP, whatever. And, he was referring to Sonic Racing.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't, let's pump the brakes a little bit on Sonic Racing. It's fun, but let's calm down here.
It's an iconic IP. It's Sonic.
I mean, Sonic, yes. But no, this did look really cool, even though it is just Mario Kart 8 Sonic. That's all it basically is, but it looks like a lot of fun. Air Gear, the Extreme Gear is back from Sonic Riders. Sonic Riders basically lives on, which is really cool. I'm excited for it. Network test on the 21st, next Friday. There is a DLC pass. Digital Lux will also give you the Sonic Prime characters as well.
Did you ever play Riders with the board?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've played. I haven't played the Kinect one, but I played the first 2. Yeah.
How did that feel?
I love Sonic Riders. Sonic Riders is fun.
But no, didn't Riders come out with like a peripheral controller of like an actual board you stood on? Okay.
That was probably the last one. That was the one that was built for Xbox Kinect.
Yeah.
I don't know if it had some board. I have no idea. Didn't try it. But no, the first 2 were just standard console
Yeah, they
games.
were.
Yeah.
But I could have sworn maybe. No, I think I know. I'm thinking of Tony Hawk Air. Tony Hawk Air.
Now, that does sound familiar. I think it did have a board.
Had a dumb
Yeah.
peripheral board you used.
Yeah, that's quite possible. And who knows? Maybe the Sonic Riders that was on Kinect was similar to that, like the Tony Hawk Air, because it was Kinect, game, so it was probably similar. But no, Sonic Riders is great. I'm pumped that the Extreme Gear is making its return with Sonic Racing Crossworlds. But then the true highlight of the entire show,
At least for
this
this show.
For this
Yes.
show.
For a lot of people, this is just
Skip ahead moment.
a lot of people, because I watched several reactions to this just to see what if people
The general
if people
populace.
were excited for it.
Yeah.
It seems like most people do not know that this franchise is still living.
Yeah.
They have no idea what they're missing.
That is Digimon Story Time Stranger.
We've been hoping for a new Digimon story game for a couple years now,
For a while.
and it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
The thing to keep in mind with this, because I did it earlier before we started the show, is this is one of 3 running Digimon series games that sporadically get games.
Yeah, because we have like Digimon World that happens every now and then. We have Digimon Stories, which is kind of the
newer
face of Digimon in a sense.
Yeah, just because the 2 games are really good.
And then we had Digimon Survive a few years back.
Which may or may not get a second game at some point.
I really hope it does.
Big Survive guy. That's why it's in the Gamestetic opening.
But yeah, I mean Digimon Story, very, very excited. As soon as like the trailer started, I went, "Oh, it is happening!"
Yeah,
because you sent me the link, like a picture.
The early pre-order dropped by accident. Whatever.
Yeah, you showed me that, and as soon as the trailer started, I went, "Oh, it is happening!"
Oh, this is real. Digimon Story. Let's go.
So yeah, very excited for that. I mean, that has potential to be like probably mine or your best game of the year.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like that being like just announced come out this year. That game like legit automatically shoots up to like number 2 for most anticipated, but only behind Expedition 33. Like I'm so pumped.
I forget the other Digimon stories. Were they turn-based or were they action?
They were both
they're
turn-based.
turn-based.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think they're going to stay with turn-based on this one? You think they'll make it
Yeah,
action?
they showed it.
Oh, did
Yeah,
they?
Yeah, they
Okay.
showed it. Yeah. It's still the same setup of where you have your 3 main Digimon and turn-based combat, whatever. But one thing that I also noticed, and I saw some people point out as well, that's pretty cool, is just that like this one is built with an updated engine and updated like graphics standpoint, because like. I mean, you guys got to keep in mind, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, that was originally a PS Vita game.
Yep.
Before it came out to the PS4. And Hacker's Memory just reused the same engine. So it's like Hacker's Memory and Cyber Sleuth are both like, PS Vita style engine and graphics. And now we have a new engine, new updated graphics. Looks great. Very excited. So dang excited.
It's gonna run so much better.
Oh, dude,
I would
I know.
hope so.
That's one of the problems going back to play it now is it's a bit clunky.
Yeah,
Because they've even remastered them once or twice.
They got a remastered like bundle pack on the
Yeah.
Switch because I bought that, but it's both games on one cartridge, which that's really nice. Like I like that a lot. But no, absolutely love those games. The story games are so much fun. I'm so dang excited for this because like just the general premise looks really cool. Not real sure the full direction of it, but just the entire vibe of that they're going for looks insane.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of keeping with the anomalies and everything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I assume it'll be somewhat of a similar type story.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, it's gonna be one of the most fun games I play this year.
Yeah, and just gonna go ahead and drop a spoiler warning now. It's probably gonna make it all the way to the finals for Gamestetic Game of the Year bracket.
That's debatable.
I'm just saying.
That's debatable.
If it gets the right matchup, kind of like what you guys were saying about which game you guys were gonna push to the finals, Esports Godfather. Yeah, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna depend on a match. If it gets the right matchup, me and John might push that thing to the finals.
Yeah, that's gonna be one where it would be the opposite. Where
Yeah.
if it landed, it would be me and him going against you this time.
Yep.
So can't wait, man. I hopefully we get an actual hard release date here in the near future. I'm just so excited. Pre-orders are up now, so you can definitely check that out. But highlight of the show by far. After that was another game that looked really
It looks
sick.
really good.
Dude, Lost Soul Aside, 10 years in development, set to come out May 30th. Looks so good.
Do either of y'all remember the developer on it?
No, but I can find out for you.
Because honestly, while I was watching this trailer, I was very like, this is like very high platinum vibes to me. Until then,
It's a publisher called Ulti Zero.
Okay.
And PlayStation is publishing it.
gotcha. I mean, because it looked really
I think it's a
good.
new studio. It's one of the Chinese. Yeah, it's a Chinese.
I mean,
studio.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, it definitely gave me platinum game vibes, and I'd be very intrigued to try it.
Yeah, I think it's
no, I
actually
mean,
their first game.
It's definitely like on my list of like potential pickups for the year. There were a few games in this showcase where I was like, where it's like it started playing. I was like, yeah, this kind of looks like the vibe I want to play right now.
Yep.
Yeah, no, the Lost Soul aside, like one of the things that like sold me on the trailer was like, I just thought it was cool. I saw it happen. I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. Was like the moment where he was like running on air with his little thing, whatever, and like kind of like runs in a circle, whatever, like a little, like in a corkscrew.
Yeah.
Just like that whole like graphical approach and just the animation approach. That it just looked really cool to me. But like me watching this state of play, especially watching it back, like. Yo, I'm talking like banger after banger for me. Sonic Racing exceeded any expectations I had. Digimon Story, game of the showcase, and then Lost Soul aside, I'm like, oh man, I'm riding a high right now watching it. I want you guys to think about this. I am riding a high watching this state of play with these three. Next, we do get to some Like a Dragon news with Pirate Yakuza demo and Ichiban Holiday, the Day of the Diver collab.
Dave the Diver just gets everything.
He does, man.
I was gonna say I was
Not an indie game, by the way.
This was part of the showcase I was just listening to,
Yeah.
and I heard, I knew they were talking about this, and then they were like, and Dave the Diver collab. I'm like, we're talking about the same thing still, right?
Yep.
Not an indie game, by the way. Shout out. Then we got WWE 2K25 with announcing the Island mode.
They kind of showed off and kind of talked about
Yeah.
what the island was gonna be.
Yeah.
Which the island, it's your multiplayer space where you can see other people running around and
Yeah, your
go to
hub.
events.
It's
and,
the same thing that they've got in NBA 2K
Yeah.
games. It's the
And
exact
like,
same thing.
yeah, what they have with a lot of fighting games now, like the Tekken
Yeah.
battle hubs, your Splatoon City hub. Because I
Yeah.
kept seeing people in the chat hours and just saying, WWE Splatoon?
Yeah, yeah. It's essentially just going to be your online hub world where you can go set up for like events to play at and stuff like that, or
Join
or
up with friends, run around with your custom
Yeah.
characters,
It's where you go to customize your like created character and
Mm.
stuff like that too.
randomly fighting just random ass rings everywhere.
Right. No, it looks really it looks really cool. I mean, honestly, everything that I've seen with 2K25 looks so good. Just the amount of stuff they've added or the amount of stuff they brought back from so many generations of wrestling games. I'm pretty pumped for it. I think I skipped out on last year's and I still played 2K23, but I think this one's gonna be a pickup. I'm pretty pumped. Have they revealed a whole lot with my GM mode?
And it's going to be online.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
you can do online play with it now, but that's about all the news we have with it.
Okay, well that's something I guess.
Yeah. They're more pushing like the island and like the
Yeah.
bloodline story mode and stuff like that.
Right. Next, we did get the release date for Borderlands 4. It is set to come out September 23rd.
We got to see some Vault Hunter abilities. I wish I knew what the heck they were.
No, they did say there. I don't know if they said the date for it or if they just said it was going to be summer. But Borderlands 4 will be getting a PlayStation showcase,
Oh yeah,
like specifically for Borderlands 4.
Yeah.
yeah. They did talk about that.
I don't know. Borderlands 4, like it started showing up and they started showing it. I'm like, I mean, it looks like Borderlands, but it's one where just looking like Borderlands has over the years has looked less and less interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I may pick this up and give it a try, but it more than likely will be like maybe wait on this until.
Oh no, is Borderlands starting to reach like Far Cry status?
Well,
mean,
I wouldn't say Far Cry status because I mean,
Okay.
It's
all
kind of.
right.
I mean, honestly, Borderlands has kind of been there.
Oh,
or
no.
not like Far Cry
Yeah.
status, but it's like
it's at this point instead of franchise point where it's just like we know what Borderlands is, we know what we can expect from gameplay. In the right mood, it's almost always going to be fun, unlike Far Cry.
the problem with Borderlands right now is Borderlands peaked at 2, and
Yeah.
this is like their 5th game to release since then.
Yeah, because so we've yet to really get to a point higher than 2, so it's more or less a thing of, I mean, it'll be fun for a bit, but we've yet to see anything outshine 2.
Yeah, it's like if you're a Borderlands enjoyer, you're gonna really enjoy it. If I'm looking for a game to play, it's like if I'm in the mood for Borderlands, then yeah, I'd be more than happy to play it. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an immediate pickup for like $70.
That's
Yeah,
fair. That's fair.
no.
That's fair, especially with everything else coming out this year. So that is fair. I know one thing that people saw this release date for and immediately kind of linked the two together is questioning the release date for GTA, because Take-Two did come out and say that like Borderlands and GTA release dates are not going to be close together.
Yeah.
So that now got people thinking it's like, okay, is this going to potentially get delayed even though Take-Two has confirmed it's coming out this year? I would just say it's going to come out in November. That's my opinion. It gives you like a month and a half space.
I'm going to be honest. They sort of lost me with the Borderlands 4 trailer at the beginning because the Borderlands Randy showed up and I'm like, fuck these guys.
What's the context there? As a non-Borderlands guy, talk to me like I'm 5.
I mean, they're sort of the heads of the studio, and
Yeah, they're the
One
two
of the-
guys that came out to talk about the game.
yeah, and
Yeah.
The one of the Randys is the one who was really pushing the Borderlands movie and whatnot.
And then we got what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're all hype and whatnot, and they're very bad hype guys.
I hope.
Okay.
Let's put it this way. Remember how I always reference back to the Borderlands 3 like event that they had that was one of the most cringeworthy things I've ever watched. Oh,
They thought it was awesome.
one of those Randy guys, that was like his baby.
Yeah.
He was the one leading it. He was the one excited for it. He was trying to bring everyone in on it. So when I see him come up, I'm like, oh, come on, man. We don't need to see you.
Yeah, that's sort of
Your time's passed.
where I am is because
Okay.
he's very bad at hyping stuff up.
Let's put it this way. Let's hope they're not there for the showcase.
Yeah.
They're going to be there for the show.
Oh, they're most definitely because
Yeah,
they like
they're gonna
to
be
be
there.
involved in anything in Borderlands, but they're very bad at it.
Yeah, they're going to be there. They're terrible hype guys. Got it. I'm
Because
following.
the other Randy, who wasn't part of the Borderlands 3 reveal, he's the one that gave us the dumb Borderlands movie behind the scenes shoot during Gearbox's E3 one year.
Oh, yeah, the one where it's like you could tell Kevin Hart had no idea it was happening and he was very violently annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was something. Yeah, because they went up to his trailer and pulled him out of his trailer, and you can just adamantly tell he had no idea what was happening. And
Yep.
he was just like, "What are we even doing here? I'm trying to chill." All right, I got all the context I need. Shout out. Then you get another look at Split Fiction here coming out soon. Very excited for that. Future Game of the Year winner potentially. We'll see. Got a new reveal here of Directive 8020.
Supermassive is back.
Dude, looks great. Looks great.
It looks very solid. I'm very
down
curious.
for a space sci-fi horror. It looks cool. Very curious on just the general direction of a couple things. You know, they got a good look at like a couple elements to it in terms of what the hell is happening, but also very much keep it under wraps of what the hell's happening.
Which is their usual MO.
Yeah, exactly. So this one is set for a nice October game, October 2nd. And this is going to be this is a day one pickup. Great for spooky season.
See, this was the start of where I'm like, I don't want to watch this section.
Wow.
Why?
I don't.
Wow.
These are the games I'm gonna play. These aren't the games I want to
We
see
had
in a
three
showcase.
straight. We had 3 straight bangers. Like,
Yeah, we had 3 straight where I was like, I don't want to see this.
What you
Wow.
mean? You always join us for the Supermassive watch along.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't mind that necessarily, but it's like I don't, because the showcases it's like a lot of times they're showing just like the weird creepy shit, and I'm like, I'm here to see some fun games.
That's the
It's like more specifically like in a couple more games. It's like it came out. I'm like, I'm gonna turn the phone down for this one.
Oh, wow.
But that is the fun part about the Supermassive games.
Yeah. No.
Well, they're fun when you're doing the watch along, but like I don't like seeing the spooky part of of the games. I don't like see the spooky games in the showcase.
Look, and
That's because I'm not necessarily excited for them, and I'm a little bitch. We know this about me.
look, when it comes to Directive 82, the must, you got to bring back the director's chair. That has to be a thing.
They said this one was, and they mentioned,
Dark Pictures.
oh well, not Dark Pictures. That was sort of a tag on, but when they introduced it, they mentioned tagline of the Quarry and Until Dawn. So I
Yeah.
assume it's going to be in retrospect of those two versus the anthology stuff.
Well, the Quarry had the director's chair though. That's what I'm referring to. That mode that we
Yeah.
used. Yeah, yeah.
But that wasn't part of the Dark Anthologies.
No, I mean, yeah, true. That's fair.
Yeah.
No. Bring back the director's chair anyway. Put it in. Make it happen. That's the best game mode of the core. If you've never used it, you got to use it. It's the best game mode. Let's see. I got a new FNAF game. FNAF Secret of the Mimic.
They're just really going everywhere with these games now.
They really are. I mean, you had the Pixel one, Into the Pit, that came out last year.
Which did really well.
Yeah, and now you have this one, which is more getting to that vein that Security Breach was, where it's like the full 3D, environment one.
See, this one gave me more like Trials. Outlast Trials vibes.
Yeah.
Which honestly should do very good as a FNAF game.
Yeah. No, this is going to be one that me and Christina will be checking out in June. And then the next one, still one of the most just visually appealing games I've seen in a while.
I was about to
I
say,
don't want to
Midnight
see
Walk.
this game anymore.
I want to
Why?
be honest. I would honestly pick this game up.
I don't want to see this game.
Why?
This game's fucking weird and freaky.
What, John?
I mean, he's not
great.
He's not wrong. The art
That's
style.
what you like about the game. That's
That
what
is what I like about it.
I'm saying it as a normal person. You're
Wow.
saying it as
Whoa,
a fan
whoa.
of.
What
You're
are you
saying
trying to say?
You're saying it as a fan of spooky games. I'm
Yeah.
saying it as the fan of, like, I'm not a spooky game enjoyer. This game looks weird and freaky.
This game looks great.
I don't
It
want to see
definitely
this
has
anymore.
very much Nightmare Before Christmas vibes.
Yeah, it looks great. This is one of the most unique looking games I've ever seen. It looks awesome. It's 10 out of 10.
I don't know why.
I wouldn't say 10 out of 10.
I wouldn't say 10 out of 10 either, but it still looks great.
He gets in this mood every now and then where he's just like, I'm going to disregard your point entirely in favor of my own.
John, you know what's the big fun factor? Is just like 2 or 3 years ago, he was in the same side as you when it came to spooky
I know
games.
he's a recent spooky game enjoyer.
then he
he's
flipped 'cause
He's
of
acting like
Christina.
he didn't used to sit in this little bitch camp. This guy played one like indie horror game and became the biggest horror game fan ever.
I don't know, honestly, how the switch got flipped, where it's just
He's a
like...
mortuary assistant.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like I don't know what switch flipped for me, where it's just like, okay, I no longer fear this, and I'm just like, all right,
It's not that I
we're good.
feared. It's like I just see it and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna play that.
I mean, that's fair.
That's not the type of game I'm gonna sit down and try to enjoy my cozy time.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't call it a cozy game, a cozy time game. That's for sure.
I don't know. Some are.
I mean, you're okay. That's
It wasn't. It was actually stated as it was supposed to be a cozy game. Actually, is what they said.
Actually, you know what? Yeah,
before
you're right.
before they showed the trailer, it was set up as it's supposed to be a cozy game.
Yeah, I will say, like, as much as I'm saying this game's not for me, this game does. It looks like an incredible game. It's not for me.
Yeah.
The art style is definitely not in your wheelhouse.
No, the art style is very unique. That's honestly the biggest draw for me for it. It's just how unique it looks.
Yeah, it's the claymation art style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It looks really sick. Do have the release date of May 8th. So shout out to that. Maybe picking that up day one, just depending on what else is kind of going around at the time. Darwin's Paradox, a new game that was announced by Konami.
Seems interesting.
Yeah, Konami platformer is set to come out this year. And then Warriors Abyss, which already dropped, a roguelike Warriors game. And you did check that out?
Yeah.
How is it?
I mean, if you're a Warriors fan, it's for you. If you're looking for like a actually fleshed out roguelite or anything like Hades or whatnot, I would honestly probably say stay away. This is very much for the base game. It's $25.
That's not bad.
Then if you want to like get some bonus costumes and whatnot, you can pay either the $30 or I think there was a $80 option for like a bunch of extra cosmetic crap. But I mean, it's a roguelike game with the Warriors skin on it, which is really weird for me because I tried to do some research because it almost feels like it's a send over to the West that had been out on the East, but I couldn't find anything saying that it had been out in the East, just because it's using 2 to 3 year old character models for all the characters.
So it just feels like an older game, is what
Yes.
you're saying. Got it.
And it feels like an older game too. More or less, this was just like a side project they did because it's still using models from Samurai Warriors 4 and then Dynasty Warriors 8 is what the models are from. I mean, overall, it's a roguelite. You're apparently in hell. You're trying to take hell back. So you choose your starting warrior and you fight with them as you progress. You can form bonds with others who will pop out and do special attacks for you, as well as get Tears of Blood, which is currency, Blue Embers, which allows you to unlock the Bond Tree, which unlocks more characters to play as, other little things that help you, items, HP, things like that. And pretty much you do a phase, eight waves, and then you do a boss fight to finish a run. And when you beat the boss fight, it opens up a new level of hell, which you continue going through.
Nice. And it was, this is the nice little like, hey, day of, check it out kind of release. So shout out to that.
Yeah, me personally, unless you're just really into roguelites and want to give it a try,
And really like the Warriors games.
or you're a Warriors fan,
Yeah.
would be pick it up. It's fairly interesting, but if you're looking like for any like something that's going to be close to like the higher echelon roguelike games, nah, you're not going to find it. This is probably a definite solid like 6.
Gotcha. Next thing we had Onimusha segment, which had Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny remaster. That is with the release date of May 23rd. And then a new trailer of Onimusha Way of the Sword.
I just realized they're remastering, if I remember my own Onimushas correctly, they're remastering the one with the French guy.
I'm not an Onimusha guy either, so I
can't remember if the French guy was in the second one or third. I want to say it was the second one. It was a weird thing. I'm really happy that we're getting an Onimusha remaster for people to try out. 2 is definitely the best one.
Okay.
In terms of just bringing people in. And then the new game looks so good.
Yeah, the Way of the Sword.
To the point where, I don't know if y'all saw it, but I saw that they actually got licensed to use the mocapping and face of a top legendary Japanese actor.
Yeah, I did see that. I
Yeah.
forgot to include that in the script, but yeah, I did see that.
And then I do like I was going to bash on it if they didn't, that they made the character's name Musashi Miyamoto, and he was using a single sword, but I guess there's some special form that allows him to have 2 swords, which anyone who knows anything about samurais, Musashi was known for his dual wielding style.
Okay.
Small details.
Yeah, the small details. Yeah. We did get a trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater with a confirmed release date that was already leaked.
Looks so good.
Of August 28th. Again, it's everything that was already leaked, even the little monkey mode, and it just got the official confirmation for it. What do you guys think of this next game, Hell Is Us? Did you guys have any opinions on this one? I thought it looked kind of cool.
It's intriguing.
Yeah, it seems like an interesting concept.
It looks interesting. It's one where I kind of want to see a bit more.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because that's where I am. I mean, the trailer definitely was interesting and brought focus on it, but I'm very on the fence of whether it's something in my wheelhouse or not.
Right. Yeah, I can get that. Yeah, well, that is set to come out September 4th. Sorry.
What the hell was this Liza P DLC?
Yeah.
So the Liza P DLC it's a time jump to the past.
Yeah.
So it like in the normal game you're playing after shit is already kicked off. In the DLC you're playing the story before that leads to that.
Yes, but no, what I'm talking about, why did the combat change so drastically?
Oh, they're going fucking nuts with it. It looks crazy.
Yeah.
It really does.
Because I was like, oh, it's Liza P's. I mean, that's going to be fantastic. And then I saw the gameplay. It was running like a DMC or whatnot. I was like, what happened? when did Pinocchio become such a hard ass?
Yeah, they just gave him more toys to play with.
Basically.
I was just like, what happened to the combat? I mean, I'm all for it, but dang, I was like, that's like a hard change.
Yeah, no, it really is, because like they even talked about that this could essentially be called the developer's cut of Lies of P. So a lot of changes. They're really going wild with it. A lot of new weapons and stuff.
Which I will say, more than anything, I'm just glad they're finally ready and show it off, and it's coming out, because this has been one of the biggest questions. Is because we've known they've been working on DLC for a long time now.
Yeah.
It's just been, where is it? Well, now it's here,
Yeah.
and now it's gonna be fucking crazy.
Yep, coming out this summer.
I wonder how people who actually played through all of Liza P plus all the extra fights and whatnot, how they're going to feel trying to adjust to the, I assume, faster combat system.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Because, I mean, they were showing off all the new stuff, so I don't know how significantly that's going to change the combat system from the parry.
That is a good question. I feel like one thing they'd just be excited for is just getting more lives of P. You know,
Oh, most definitely.
I think there could be a. I don't know. I mean, guys, I'm not the most skilled in Souls-like games or just games similar in the Devil May Cry vein. It's like I feel like the jump would be an easier jump to do.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is.
I mean, like I feel like it'd just be make the game easier to play, easier to jump into. But I feel like they could also be like kind of a sour point for people because they like that challenge.
Well, I have a feeling it's probably gonna be like when it actually gets here. I mean, at its core, it's gonna be Lies of P still.
gonna say-
It's like
Yeah.
it's like in that area. It's like in the DLC area. It's like it may feel a bit faster, but that could honestly just be like new weapon changes, new weapon
Armaments,
arts and
yeah.
stuff like that they have or that come with a lot of the new stuff that make it seem a lot faster and flashier than that. But I mean, at the core of it, it's still going to be Lies of P.
I was about to say, I don't think it's going to be a negative. I just am curious to see people's adjustment to it.
Right. Fair enough.
And the thing is, like the people who are big fans of Lies of P, it's like they're just going to be happy it's finally coming out.
I was about to say, they're not going to have any difficulty because some of those farther in-game fights are pretty rough.
Fucking wild.
Because you have bosses who have like 2 or 3 phases.
Well, it's one of those where it's a game where I like haven't played through it, but like I've watched a bunch of like
Same.
playthroughs and like stuff through it. Like when you get to the in-game areas of that game, Lies of P has some of the most brutal like in-game areas
Oh, yeah.
out of like any Souls game.
I'm going to be honest. I put it close to Sekiro.
Really? Okay.
Just because, I mean, it actually has, the game itself has very good scaling for a player of just initial introduction leading into like the further fights because like it's pretty brutal in terms of just resource management and whatnot because like there's a lot of in-game bosses who will have 2 to 3 phases and like you get no reset. So you go from phase to phase just with no reset. So you still have to deal with whatever you still have left.
Yeah, and then it's like getting to those fights to begin with. It's like the enemies that are in those zones are they're fucking brutal.
Yeah, and if you lose, guess what? You got to run through them again and do phase 1 again.
It's like good luck, kid.
Yeah, no, Lies of P gets pretty brutal.
Yeah. Then we had a game called Dreams of Another revealed. This one just looked interesting.
I'm trying to remember which one this is.
I think this is the one where like the guy's going through like the kind of pixel world and shooting to unlock the area.
Yep.
So there's no combat in the game, but you use the weapons
yeah.
to reveal the world so that you can interact with
Yeah, the very artistic looking game.
Yeah, it almost looked like a paint art style is something that I kind of think of. It was very, very interesting in terms of its art style. So
it looked interesting. This is one where it's like I would be willing to give this a try depending on the price of the game.
See, I feel like this game's more of a, at least from the bit we saw, it's more of a experience versus like initial, like playing for a long time.
yeah, that's fair.
It's
that's
like
fair.
very much more of a kind of in that vein of like during that time where we were getting games like Journey in that where it's kind of just about experiencing it rather than like creating your own story and everything for it. But yeah, depending on how what the price of this game is, I might be willing to give it a go.
Yep. Then you got Days Gone Remaster coming out April 25th with a $10 upgrade to get it.
Woo!
And Sony loves Days Gone.
Hey, and if you already bought it for the PS4, $10 upgrade.
Yep. Then the next one was a new reveal of a game that was one of my highlights of the show as well. Tides of Annihilation. This game just looks really sick. Big Final Fantasy vibes. Big Final Fantasy vibes.
This game looks incredible.
It
really
does look very good.
Yeah, no, like this stood out to me immensely.
It was one where it's like it kind of looked cool, and then they kind of started showing off like moving around and like kind of how like some of the combat stuff work. It looks fucking crazy.
Yeah, it does. So, like, the general premise of it is it's based on an Arthurian legend set in a mythical modern London and medieval fantasy realm. That's quite the setup already, and it looks cool. It backs it up. Chinese developer, studio size about 110 cent invested. So the Arthurian legend aspect is the MC can command and summon the Knights of the Round Table to fight alongside of her. So looks cool. Combat looks cool. The graphics of it look great. The world looks great. Just the vibe of it. It's kind of the same extent of like Expedition 33 of where they nailed the vibe, you know, and then nailing the vibe brings you in, and it's kind of that. It's kind of that situation.
Now that you say that, all it made me think is it's just a Fate Stay Night crossover.
Okay, all right.
Since Arthur's female in that.
Yeah.
Also, if you haven't seen it, there is like a 12-minute gameplay showcase trailer that has, I think it was released yesterday.
Yeah, it was. There was also a really weird thing that happened with this game as well, the day of the state of play, where for whatever reason, like the link to purchase the game went live for Xbox,
Okay.
and it was like at a like price point and all. It was like $22.49, super random price point, super random price point. But the game went live like by accident or something at that price point, and people were able to purchase it, but they weren't able to like actually go in and play the game. But it was just a really weird situation. It was taken down pretty much immediately. You know, again, people couldn't play it, but it was just really strange.
People get refunded?
I don't know. I'm gonna assume probably because
I was about to say,
I
are
don't
they-
feel like that's the price of the
I was
game.
going to say, they're going to honor that price?
I don't know. I don't feel like that's supposed to be the price of the game.
I
That's
don't
why
think it would either.
Like that's one of the most random price points I've heard of a game. You know, $22.49. So I don't know. It's just a really weird situation that I saw come up because Wario64 was the one who posted about it, and when he shared the link, he's like, for some reason this game is up at this price. I don't know why. So it was just kind of weird. Next, got to look at a multiplayer FPS game called Metal Eden coming out in May. If that's a PlayStation game, PlayStation Studio game, we'll see how well that thing goes. Then we got a game called Mind's Eye, which is led by the former president of Rockstar North with a pretty large track record. They've basically done everything from GTA 3 to GTA 5 in the GTA realm, and that includes all the DLCs and the smaller games. They also produced Manhunt 1 and 2, and they were the executive producer of LA Noire, Max Payne 3, and Red Dead Redemption 1, which they were also the lead designer on Red Dead 1. So they've got a pretty lengthy track record, but the game looked interesting. Just single player experience with a heavy narrative focus, but looked interesting. Need to see more. And then closed out with a quick little preview of
Returnal
Ceros,
2!
basically
Yeah.
from Housemarque.
This is like, I feel like from general audiences, this was kind of like one of the highlights of the showcase.
Yeah,
was just
for a lot of people.
seeing this.
This is like this and like probably the official reveal of like Metal Gear were probably like the tops for people. You know,
a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, and we're over here like Digimon story. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I'd never played Returnal, but it's like I've seen it. It looked cool. I mean, this, at least from the vibe that we saw of it, looks cool. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, at least interested in it.
I mean, it's the studio's second game. They have a good track record with Returnal and everything they did with it post-launch. So, I mean, a lot of people were looking forward to it. It was a good ending note for the general audience.
Yeah.
Returnal, I feel like was one of those games, like when it came out, it was one of those games that like you didn't hear a lot about, but it was quietly successful.
Yeah, because, I mean, it was one of the opening games for PS5, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was in like the first 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of those that kind of just underlyingly sat there and over time just kind of gained that following.
True.
I mean, it's solid.
I think it got ported over to PC as
It
well.
did.
Yeah. So just had a nice following about it. I think they've just continued to work on it for a little bit. So yeah, this was a good little end note for the general audience of things. So I mean, top to bottom, like I said, I think it was a pretty good state of play. Just because like, while there was only a handful of announcements, like on one hand that I could really pinpoint, like, oh yeah, hype. Like that's all I needed. I mean, Tides Annihilation looks sick. Lost Soul Aside looks sick. Digimon Story, immediate number 2 most anticipated game of the year. And Sonic Racing Crossworlds just looks like a lot of fun. So I mean, overall I walked away pretty happy with the state of play.
You want to know the biggest reason why I say this is kind of a meh state of play? It's because here's my question that I had coming out of it. where are the big hitters that are supposed to be coming out this year?
You are totally justified in feeling that way.
Because like, yeah, when we go through this, like, yeah, there's like 5 or so games in here that like have piqued my interest or I'm genuinely excited for and probably going to pick up at some point this year when they come out. But if you're going to have a showcase where you're putting all your release dates out for like games coming out this year, and we even got looks at games coming out in 2026, we couldn't have had 2 minutes for Ghosts of Yote.
Right.
It's like we couldn't have like any of your like big hitters that are supposed to be your flagship games of the year. When are those they're supposed to be coming out this year. We don't know when.
Right.
So it's like, what are you just saving those for Summer Games Fest?
That's
Which
my
means they're going to
guess.
be second half of the year.
True. Fair.
When like already this is all like middle of the year. So it's like, is it just middle of the year and then you're going to pack the end of the year in? And we got fuck all for the beginning of the year, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah.
So that it's like, yeah, there's a few games in here I'm excited for, but you don't have to save everything for Summer Games Fest or
Right.
like your own showcase you're going to do around the time of Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, that's summertime showcase. Because that is a good point. Like in terms of, like obviously a lot of good titles, right? And like you go through and you look at like the release dates of some stuff. I mean, we got some good release dates here early on, right? But like to your point, like everything that like in terms of first party, Sony, where are they at? Because like even like immediately after this showcase, Sony like immediately like reconfirmed with like some interview or whatever. It's just like, oh yeah, Ghost and Death Stranding 2 are coming out this year still. It's just like, okay, if that's the case, couldn't seen anything, you know?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, granted, I do think we need more showcases like this where you do show some of those. But if you're going to announce like a showcase and you're not going to put these games in here, all everybody's expecting are these games to show up. So if they're not going to be there, just say they're not going to be there. Be like, hey, we're showing other games that are not announced. And then it's like you can kind of lower expectations in that sense. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, I kind of just, I want to see some more information on those bigger games. And now I know I'm going to have to wait like a few more months to actually hear anything about them.
Yeah, yeah. And not only wait a few more months to hear some about them, but then have to wait longer because they're probably going to be second half games.
Yeah,
so
it's like I'm gonna wait until around Summer Games Fest to then know that it's gonna release in like the August to December range.
Yep. No, overall though, was pretty good. That's a very valid point though. I didn't even think about is like, hey, where's your big hitters? But you know, also to your point, it's good to have showcases like this too. So kind of a mixed bag there.
I'm, like I said, glad we're getting some of these showcases. I just think that, because like they've been pretty good about showcases like this before, where they're like, hey, we're not gonna show you. It's like, here's a showcase. This isn't gonna be here, so don't expect it to be here. So it's like just little more communication about what games aren't gonna show up, so that people aren't watching it waiting on those games to show up.
Yeah, because there was actually another one too that I saw a bunch of reports on that it was expected to be at the State of Play, but whatever that Gummy Bears game is by Bungie, there was a lot that's like Smash MOBA type deal.
That weird one.
Yeah, there was a lot of reports saying that was supposed to be there and obviously wasn't. So another one of those things. I don't know. So just kind of interesting. All right, let me shout out Rogue Energy. You can use the referral link down below, promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order, whether if you're picking up the hydration line, the chill line, or the energy powder or cans. They're all fantastic. And again, that's promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order with the referral link down below. If they have a better or a different sale going on where you can get more off, that's totally fine. The referral link still helps us out. Thank you so much.
You're probably still able to get till Sunday the Valentine's BOGO 50.
There you go. Just use the referral link and hit that up, and you will be good. All right, boys. Anything else that you guys really wanted to chat about? Anything you guys got going on you wanted to shout out? Or if not, I can probably start going through the weekly wrap-up.
I don't really got anything because I haven't changed my whole week at all. Mostly Zenless Star Rail.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. That's me with Marvel Rivals right now. So
Not really. I did see one article. I haven't looked through the weekly wrap. I don't know if it's in there. But apparently, like Steam is gonna do a better job of like separating their fall and winter sales, like time frame wise, to
Yeah.
have
Instead
a
of
more
butchering everyone's wallets.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and because it's like they kind of just do them whenever they remember, kind of. So it's like there's been times where like we'll have a fall sale and then immediately followed by a winter sale like a couple weeks later.
yeah,
So I guess they're gonna try to spread them out to be a little more even throughout the year.
that'd be good.
Which that way we actually get like a spring, summer, fall, and winter sale instead of them kind of pushing it back or forgetting about it, and then we get one sale and then like 2 weeks later we get another sale.
That's fair. That's good of them. All right, let's go through the weekly wrap up. So first one is Avowed though. So Avowed reviews are coming out as well as early access kind of impressions. Did come in at 80 on Metacritic, 83 on OpenCritic. Lots of 9s out of 10s. Few perfect. And overall, what I've seen is like from everyone that I follow, everyone that's played the game, it's just really enjoyed the game. John, you were telling us before the show about some potential performance stuff. So
it's
hopefully
like-
that gets like a good day one patch.
It's one of those where it's like performance issues on PC. I've heard from a few people. It's like very well could be like day one patch type stuff where
Right.
it just gets fixed and isn't an issue. Hopefully they don't release like a PC version that has a bunch of issues with it that people have to deal with. But no, I mean, I'm looking forward to trying it. It's like I'm gonna download it and like play it when it comes out. Hopefully have some fun with it.
Yeah. Been waiting a long time.
Yeah, I mean, this game's been announced like 5 or 6 years ago at this point.
Yeah, like the Xbox Series showcase, probably.
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
It was shown off a long time ago. I mean, it kind of looks a lot different than it did back then.
Yeah.
But it's also one where it's like, I mean, if I pick it up and it's fun, it doesn't matter how long it took to come out.
Yeah.
Right?
True. True.
Just hoping it's as fun as people are saying it is.
Right. I mean, this thing was announced, I'm pretty sure, in like the same showcase with good old Everwild, whenever that's going to come out. That one's probably shelved at this point. Jesus.
Yeah, that one's probably been shafted at some point.
Yeah, Lord have mercy. But no, am excited for Avowed. It does look really cool. Everyone that's gotten a chance to play it, either the review copy or via early access, have said that, oh, this is great. I've even seen that one article came out that I thought was pretty interesting, where it's just like Obsidian is like low key become Xbox's secret weapon because they just put out just good games, you know? Like, you know, you have the 2 Outer Worlds games, you know, the second one coming out this year. You have this one. Then, of course, they had that one smaller scale game, Pentiment, which was reviewed very well. I've played a little bit of Pentiment. Super interesting. Very unique game for sure. So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting comment that Obsidian's becoming one of Xbox's, like, secret weapons. I'm like, you know, to a point, I can kind of agree with that, especially when you look at the landscape of some other Xbox studios. You know, you have Bethesda, which can make a great game, right? But, you know, kind of comes out in a
They're getting to that.
in a state.
They're getting to that point where they sort of got to prove.
Yeah.
It's like they can make a great
They
game,
can, yeah.
but they've fallen into the trap of they make the same game.
Yeah.
That
Now
they've
Bethesda games are reaching Far Cry level.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no.
Bethesda has been making the same game in a different setting and hasn't changed the formula
Yeah.
for like 15 years, maybe
Right.
longer, because it's like they've been just recycling like the Skyrim, and Skyrim came out in 2011.
Yep.
Yeah.
11.
So it's like they've been recycling that. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
They are Far Cry.
Just really processing it, you're like, oh my God. No, I mean, like, you look at the landscape of their studios, and it's just like, you know, you have Bethesda, who's, I guess, on the level of Far Cry, like you're saying. You know, the like Halo and Gears, they have not been to their peak since it was Bungie and Epic.
Yep.
You know, with it being 343, and I think it's what, Coalition?
Yes.
I think does all the Gears. Like, those three have been kind of just like, you know, whatever, take it or leave it. But yeah, no, Obsidian just like they're not necessarily putting out like your game of the year winners, but they're just putting out good games. So I can kind of get behind that comment that it's kind of like Xbox's secret weapon.
They're not necessarily putting out like the game of the years, but they're putting out like contenders for player's choice.
Yeah. Or I think in 1 year, I think wasn't Outer World nominated for game of the year? I could be wrong.
I don't think it was game of the year, but it was in a couple other
Okay. All
higher
right.
categories.
Okay. Well, either way, excited for Avowed. Looks really good. Let's see. Next thing, I thought this was interesting. Nintendo Switch 2 units have now entered the black market, and they're selling for 40,000. Oh, that is funny. So, whoever buys that, you're part of the problem.
There's no conceivable way that any console or anything could ever be worth that.
Agreed.
Nope.
Agreed. Elden Ring Night Rain has its release date set for May 30th. God bless. This first few months is stacked.
Dude,
I didn't even
okay.
realize there was a test going on for Night Rain.
I've been watching a lot of it. I like last night. I went to bed after watching it for a while, and I woke up this morning, and the people that I was watching the night before play it had since they played it entirely through the test period. Like, got a couple hours of sleep, and when I woke up, they were continuing to play in the next time frame of playing it. The game looks crazy. It is so much faster paced.
It does look very solid because, I mean, I didn't get to watch a whole lot, but I did catch Let Me Solo Her playing it this morning. And he was having a heck of a time with it. It is not Elden Ring, but is definitely a good take on a co-op boss rush.
It is like Elden Ring arcade.
Yes.
That is the way.
Probably a better way to put it, yeah.
It is the arcade version of it, where it's, I mean, it's both less and kind of more punishing like boss fights because everything seems to be a lot faster. Movement's faster. Like the max level in the game is 15 to go through like 3 nights, or that. But yeah, it honestly looks incredible, which for as wacky of a game as the concept that they made is, more power to them because everybody that's playing it seems to love it.
Oh, yeah. Several articles from people who've been able to play during these test periods have just been giving it praise, saying it's not the same as Elden Ring, but it's definitely a good take on whatever they're trying to do.
Right, right.
It's not a standard like Souls game or anything, but at the same time, it's a very nice departure from it.
I think I saw some comment from like one of the directors that it didn't initially start out the way that it is. It's just like it started at something else, and then they came to this. And they said, "Wow, this is fun." I think I saw something along.
I mean,
that.
that's not surprising. Their studio's doing solid, so
yeah. They just kind of take something, they kind of run with it. Let's see. Next thing, we've got a rumor that the PlayStation 5 live service game Fair Games has been delayed to 2026.
What even is that?
Dude, I don't remember, honestly. But it's just one of those things where it's like, with the tracker that they've had on live service games, it's probably for the best. You just delay it and just make sure that it's going to be worth shit. So
I mean, I look at it a different way. I look at it as, it's another live service game that'll, if it comes out and it's popular, it'll be popular for 2 months, and then it'll find its core audience, and then everybody else will move along.
Yeah, fair enough.
That is the way that most of these live service games
Or
work.
with current Sony's track record, we'll get to 2026 and we'll either get canned or we'll see if it can outplay, what was it?
Concord?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anything's going to touch that.
I don't know. Concord did a speed run.
Concord was a pretty good speed run of a live service game. They set the world record.
They really did, dude. I'm still in disbelief with everything with that game.
The fact that game, for people to platinum, it was literally just lobbies of people running off the map, is still amazing to me.
On the other vein of Sony live service games, I did also see a report that Marathon could be getting a full like reveal and or like some sort of state of play here in like the next couple months.
I don't buy that.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. There are going to be some new Astrobot levels and special bots coming. One of them is already out right now. Came out on the 13th. Got one on the 20th and the 27th, March 6th and March 13th.
I assume it's Valentine's themed.
I haven't looked at it. I haven't bother to like Google and check out what it is. John still got my Astrobot, so you still playing that? How's it going for you?
I've played it recently.
Okay.
I'm probably like 2/3
Nice.
through the game.
Nice. No, I haven't seen what any of what the bots are or anything. I did see a really funny comment about the names of all the levels. I forgot to add them to the script, but someone made a comment about all the level names. Just like whoever named these levels 100% must have just finished watching porn. Just because,
What?
just based on how they're named. I'm just like that's a hilarious comment, and I can kind of see where you're coming from. Anyway, there was a little bit of a leak with Remedy. Remedy's website may have given the release windows for a bunch of their upcoming games. Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes set for next year. Control 2 2027, Alan Wake 3 2029, and Control 3 in 2030. So shout out to that. Apparently, Okami 2 will be using the RE engine, so look forward to Okami 2 looking fantastic. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, is officially set for May 21st for everyone excited and anticipating that one. And the last piece of news I've got is One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 is basically the Xenoverse 2 of One Piece. It is set to have its PS5 and Xbox Series enhanced version with more DLC.
Here you go. Here's our levels for Astrobot. What came out on the 13th was TikTok Shock. On the 20th, we'll get Thrust or Bust. 27th is Cockadoodle Doom. March 6th is Hard to Bear. And the March 13th will be Armored Hardcore.
I can see where they're coming from. I can see where they're coming from. All right. Well, that's all the news that I had. Boys, you got any news you want to shout out?
I mean, I don't think so, because that Astrobot thing just sort of depressed me.
Depressed them. Oh, no. What about you, John? You got any news? Boom, boom, boom.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well.
Ooh, here's something.
Ooh, what you got?
Nintendo anti-Palworld patent assault hits a snag as USPTO rejects 22 of 23 filings.
Oh, nice.
Palworld's still going at it.
Yeah, Power World's gonna keep on rocking, man. Shout out to Power World. All right, well, I guess it's time for Gamestetic Game of the Week. John, is it your turn or is it my turn?
It's John's.
It's my turn.
All right, Gamestetic Game of the Week.
Gamestetic Game of the Week for the first time ever. I am going to shout out a game I've not completed yet.
Oh, okay.
But it's a game I'm currently playing and I've been enjoying immensely. It's a game called The Last Faith. It's a game. It's a like Metroidvania Souls-like game. I don't have a ton of the like lore details yet, but it's like you essentially in a world that's kind of been overrun and kind of taken over, where people are being there's a sickness going around that's kind of taking people and turning them into demons in a sense, and like you're kind of just a guy trying to go about his way, essentially figure out what's going on, progress through like city, meet NPCs, stuff like that, and it's like various weapons that you can unlock, different magic systems. It's like different types of builds that you can play in it, whether depending on weapon or magics that you want to use, and that very, very interesting. It's one of my first ventures into like kind of the Metroidvania style games in like 20 years. And I've been having a blast with it. This is, it's a game I wanted to pick up for a while. And it's a game I'm primarily playing on my Steam Deck. But yeah, it is a very, very, very well done, like Metroidvania style game. because like as I'm progressing through areas, I'll be seeing things, be like, oh, I can't go that way or anything. Pick up an item or something later on, new piece of equipment. I'm like, oh, I can finally get back to some of that, and then I'm backtracking my way just to go find everything. Even like, and then it's like you get new NPCs and stuff, basically that'll tell you, oh, like give you a little lore or something, or give you a new quest objective. Be like, hey, you might want to head towards this direction. There's stuff going on there, and there's quite a few bosses in it that I'm kind of just coming across, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going into a boss fight now. Yeah, very, very good game. Reviewed pretty well as well.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, it's one where I normally wouldn't recommend a game that I haven't completed yet, but I've been having an absolute blast with it. So yeah, Last Faith, highly recommend if you do like Metroidvania style games.
Yeah, the description for it on Steam is pretty solid. A dark gothic fusion of Metroidvania and Souls-like. The Last Faith thrives on merciless and precise combat with a huge range of weapons, firearms, and custom executions at your disposal. Let nothing stand in your way.
Yeah,
sounds pretty sick. And I do like the pixel art style as well. Pretty
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. That the art style is kind of what drew me to it. But yeah, it does have that Souls-like thing to it where you do gain like souls or that from killing your enemies. If you do die, you have to go pick them up or you lose them in that. But yeah, very, very fun, very kind of challenging game.
Nice. And shout out to that. Lost Faith, Gamesthetic Game of the Week. All right, let's hit the music and get out of here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. Let us know what you thought about the state and play and what games stuck out for you.
Yeah, do everything he said and more. And if you like what you saw with us here, then we do these live streams usually every Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time. So come check us out then.
And make sure to also check out some Agent Ink with the referral link down below. Didn't throw it up earlier because I got to get a new graphic. As well as check out Sparky3shop.com and Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below. Promo code Sparky3 over there as well. If you want to support the channel further, make sure to check out the Patreon. Maybe check it out. Maybe something you might be interested in. Shout out to our Tier 2 patron, Hannah. We appreciate the hell out of you. And join the Discord. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Digimon Story Game of the Year. Bye.